I'm glad to have him over there.
Okay, now there's only Clayton Kershaw standing between the Cubs and the World Series. Saturday night, Wrigley Field. Take me there. What can we expect?
A lot of fans, a lot of hype. We're going to prepare, to go to a dogfight, and I can't remember who we have on the mound, but whoever it is, Hendricks. Well, Kyle, he's been having a great year, so we don't expect anything less. I know that he's going to probably be on point, so we're going to be there to be behind him 110%. It's going to be a dogfight to the end.
We're all looking forward to it. Thanks, Addison.
Thank you.
Back to you, Kevin.
Addison, Tom, thank you very much. So here's Addison Russell. First 7 games, 1 for 24. Last 2, 5 for 10. Couple of bombs, 4 RBIs. That's a nice little turnaround for Addison Russell. Boy, oh boy, is it ever. And I'll tell you what, we were watching that game 3 the other night.
We're going to the dogfight. That will be a dogfight.
There you go. I mean, it could have used another analogy. Like, I guess a wolf fight, a lion fight. Do you prefer that?
Oh, we'll get back to the zoo again?
No, please don't. Please don't.
Can we save the zoo for a
Hey,
little
we
later?
mean please don't.
Gotta get back to the zoo.
All right,
Save that for Chicago.
Save the zoo on an off day. That's when we'll go to Cincinnati Zoo. So, Russell, we talked about this the other day. Pinch hit for in that game 3, and kind of a meaningless spot or by Hayward. And we were talking, man, how is he going to respond? You thought maybe even it's an embarrassing moment for him. He showed us something the last 2 days.
I thought so, and I just thought about my days when I was a shortstop as a 22-year-old in Seattle. And I know if I would have been pinch hit in a situation where I thought I had a favorable matchup, a non-leverage situation, you looked at him go back into the bench. He was a little frustrated, shaking his hand. And I think we were all asking Kevin, how is this young man going to react? Well, this is how he reacted. 5 for 10, like you said, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. It tells you a little bit about this kid's character and supreme confidence.
Well, now we know why this guy got close to 100 RBIs.
Right.
I mean, he's a shortstop knocking in 95 or 96 runs, Frank. That's not the normal shortstop today.
It was a high draft pick. And this kid's out of Florida. They play some really good ball down in Florida. Alex can tell you that. He's tough. I mean, most guys couldn't come back the way he did, but it shows you this guy's going to be a future superstar of the Chicago Cubs.
You know, Frank, 5 for 10 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs does not tell the whole story. That first game, he could have had 3 home runs.
Yes.
He had a home run and 2 balls to the track, 1 to left center, 1 to right center. I think he should never be benched, even if he doesn't hit. And he's doing this.
Alex, can you imagine him ever being pinch hit for?
No, I didn't like it when it happened.
Is that a thing in the
I thought it was
past?
a mistake. Yeah. Well, especially in that situation, Pete. I mean, he's a guy that's your everyday player. Let him go. He has 95 RBIs, 21 hits, and you have to be able to manage a 22-year-old.
Unbelievable.
Well, there's a lot of storylines tonight. You have to start with John Lester. I don't know what else you can do in the postseason, but John Lester continues to be incredible in his postseason career. So much so, he's got the second-best ERA in postseason history. You're talking guys with at least 15 starts or more. 2.50 for John Lester. This postseason in 3 starts, he's got a .86. .86. And considering the other night Joe Madden took him out after only 77 pitches, tonight Joe Madden was riding with John Lester, Frank.
He's a great pitcher. If you don't get him early, I've seen him forever, I've faced him a lot. If you don't get him early, he settles in, he gets in his rhythm. He is a tough matchup going forward. I'm really glad he stayed into the 7th tonight. I know Joe was thinking about taking him out a little early, but once again, the Dodger hitters, they struggle against great left-handed pitchers.
Yeah.
Well, do you think he really blew him away tonight? He just pitched a good ball game.
Yeah,
he pitched a John Lester ball game tonight is what he did. And that was good enough to beat the Dodgers who, they did a lot of little small things tonight that don't add up to winning baseball games.
Pete, I faced this guy for a long time, and we had some epic battles with the Red Sox versus the Yankees. But to me, he's the total package, and he's better than advertised. Let me give you one stat which I thought was extremely compelling for me, which tells the story of who John Lester is. 108 pitches, 100 fastballs, versions of fastballs. One word to describe his performance, conviction.
Wow. So 8 off-speed pitches the whole game.
8 breaking balls.
It's that cutter, man.
8 breaking balls.
Yeah.
Ever since he added that cutter, I mean, he paints with the best of them. He paints inside corner, outside corner. He hardly ever throws the ball in the middle of the plate, and that's what makes him great.
So, new order, bunch of righties, all kinds of stuff, but Dave Roberts didn't matter. Still the same result, 1 run. 1 run allowed by John Lester. It's been his MO in the postseason. Javier Baez is, well, if you haven't watched any baseball in the postseason, he's a star. Flat-out star for the Chicago Cubs, another huge night, and he's now standing by at Dodger Stadium with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Kevin.
Javi, first of all, people want to know, how are you physically after what happened at second base?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You know, a little sore, but I thought I twisted my ankle, but I didn't. I just feel something in my ankle, but I'm fine.
Okay, the Adrian Gonzalez bunt. 7th inning, you're up by only 2 runs at the time. How difficult was that play, considering you started on the outfield grass?
Well, I actually didn't think I was going to catch it because I was coming full speed forward. And, you know, to make that play, it was a big. I mean, the game wasn't that open, and he was a leadoff hitter. You know, it was just big to get that first out.
How surprised were you that he bunted?
Really surprised. Since his first AB and since last night, they've been talking about John Lester fielding the ball. You know, we were ready for it. We were, like you see, the four infielders were moving every time they scored a bunt.
What did you think of Lester, considering all that was going on?
We were trying to keep him away from what we're doing to get on his head. You know, from Rossi did a good job staying away from the other team and you know, to what they were trying to do.
Okay, leading off the 6th, before Addison's home run, you hit a single off a slider. He had gotten you out on a slider in game 1. Was that on your mind?
Well, you know, I knew it was coming. I was just trying to get that slider up a little bit, and he finally threw it to me. I hit it up the middle.
The 3-run double. What was your approach on that one?
Oh, right center, and you know, he got a big curveball, so I could react to it, stay back, and you know, he threw me a fastball cut that I just took it that way and went over his head.
You having fun?
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Javi. Kevin, back to you.
Hard not to have fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk about that bunt play for just a moment, Kev, because that was a perfect baseball play. It was a great bunt.
Adrian Gonzalez bunt you're talking about.
Yeah, Adrian, a great play by the second baseman. The only bad thing about the whole play is the umpire missed it, but review got it right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was, Alex, I mean, you know, I mean, it was incredible. He came from right field to make this play, and here it is.
Yeah. You know, Kevin, I don't know if the folks at home understand how difficult this play is. Let me tell you why. I mean, first of all, he's playing short right field. He's coming in a full sprint in Dodger Stadium. That around the 7th, 8th inning, the grass is moist. So he's grabbing the ball like it's coming out of a pool, and then he makes an accurate throw. There's 2 other people that can make that play in my lifetime that I've seen. One is a Hall of Famer. The next one's a future Hall of Famer. Pete, that's Roberto Alomar and Mr. Robinson Cano.
I'll tell you what, though, and the thing is, Pete, that is a game-changing play. Look at the score. Okay, big deal. It's 3-1, and that's the leadoff hitter in that inning.
Because Jock got a base hit to right field after that.
Yes.
We're 1st and 3rd in a 2-run ball game.
Yes. Frank, before you comment, here's bias. Look, Cubs fans know him, obviously.
Right.
Nationally, I don't think they do. This playoffs, 371, 5 extra base hits, 7 RBIs, 7 runs, 2 steals. I mean,
just think of the Cubs' future up the middle for the next 7 to 10 years.
Gosh.
These guys are 22 and 23 years old.
You know, Frank,
Just imagine
how
good they're going to be.
No, you're right. I mean, what's exciting about the Cubs, but also what's exciting about baseball, in 2011, Francisco Lindor was the 8th pick. Number 9, Javi Baez.
wow. That's pretty good. So
And there's another pretty good shortstop in Houston called Carlos Correa.
Puerto Rico, right? The
Puerto
power of
Rico's
Puerto
back.
Rican baseball, it really is. So that's good. That's good stuff.
Statistic genius. Where do you get it at? How many people you got working for you? My gosh. Got more people working than Vince Scully had working for him.
You know, there was an interesting call in this game by Dave Roberts. And I guess the precursor to this conversation is all year long, Dave Roberts gone to his pen early, without hesitation. Boom, he's made decisions like that. And Maeda hasn't been great lately, we know that. But you just have to explain to me how in the 4th inning, only 1 run allowed, after he falls behind 3-0 to Ross and comes back to get him, okay, he takes out Maeda facing John Lester, who is a terrible hitting pitcher, Frank. I just don't get, I'm not saying that Maeda would have gone 7 innings here, but if you could at least squeeze another few outs, explain to me what you thought.
I didn't understand it because this bullpen is really struggling. I would have tried to link him as far as I can. Maybe he was on a pitch limit or whatever else, but getting 3.5 from Maeda, I think they need to lengthen him a little bit more because this bullpen is battered. I mean, there's no confidence out there in the bullpen except Kelly Jansen. Mm-hmm. And Saturday, they got a very good chance with Kershaw and getting Jansen, but that's the only way they can win game 6 if Kershaw throws 7 and Jansen gets the other 2.
If you're going to take him out in that situation, bring him in to face Ross, who's an everyday player, a hitter. Not bring him in to face the pitcher. But, you know, I guess he's going to have a reason why he did it. We'll hear in the interview
Yeah, I'm
after the
anxious
game.
to hear it.
You know, I thought the game was won right there by the Cubs. 3 2/3. I thought he could have gotten Lester and see what happened. The problem is when starters don't give you depth, you got guys like Baez and Blanton having to get big outs. Blanton, 3 innings, 7 runs, 3 home runs in just a short series.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
the problem. You see those guys every night. The Cubs hitters know what they got. I mean, you're not going to fool anyone with this bullpen right now. It's a problem.
And
it really is.
Baez is a concessionaire pitcher. I mean, because they sell
What's that mean? What does that mean?
They sell 5 more cases of beers when he pitches because he pitches so slow. He's great for the guy who owns the concessions.
What do you call
They
him?
love
Human
Baez.
rain delay?
Yeah, he's human rain delay.
Can I ask a serious question?
Throw the ball.
We're sitting in there, and he's wearing us out, okay?
Oh,
And like, it's okay, we're joking around. But in all seriousness, how do you play behind that?
It is miserable. And you get back in your heels, you start looking around, you're saying not so kind things about the pitcher. And the other thing that follows is usually bad defense. It's just not a good mix.
Throw the ball. That might have been the reason to turn it and throw Brian out and then broken bat ball down to third base.
That's right.
Because he was late getting there. Because you can't play on your heels. And that's what you do when the guy takes too much time to throw the ball. Throw the ball, Baez.
Dodgers bullpen beat up a little bit, used a lot last couple of days. We're going to need Kershaw in game number 6. Plenty more to do when we come back here, the postgame on FS1. John Lester. We'll talk to Ken Rosenthal one-on-one when we come back. Another outstanding performance from Lester. We'll hear from him. We'll dive into that clubhouse a little more. Hopefully get Dave Roberts on the decision to take Maeda out. There you go. A lot more coming on the postgame show. Hey, look, someone needs a little fuel. A little salmon, a little sushi.
We didn't get sushi till he
Ken
got here.
Griffey Jr., Jay Buhner, Paul Sorrento, Lou Piniella. Wait.
Alex Rodriguez.
A young Alex Rodriguez.
Remain in your home to hear an exciting bundle offer. All contracts are binding. You must comply.
We got a runner.
Hey, follow me!
Better TV starts now.
PlayStation.
What?
Is he gone? Finally! I thought he'd never leave.
Why are you texting my man at 2 a.m.?
If you want someone to leave you alone, you pretend like you're sleeping. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Taking selfies in the kitchen does not make you a model. Okay.
Exploding into the backfield. Touchdown.
Yesterday, a wizard entered New York with a case full of magical creatures. And unfortunately, some have escaped. It was open.
Just a smidge.
Contain this, or it'll mean war.
I want to be a wizard.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
Double meat and cheese? Classic. Grilled onions and Thousand Island? Classic. All for just $2.49? Really classic. The classic double cheeseburger for just $2.49. Only at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
What are these? What is it?
Duck lips.
Duck lips.
It's a plastic surgery duck. You are a backwards duck. Instead of quack, he says cow. No, cow.
Pringles. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
No matter which Passat you choose, you get more standard features for less than you expected.
Hurry in and lease the 2017 Passat S for just $199 a month.
Wear what the best wear.
MLBShop.com.
Welcome to the postgame show presented by Lethal Weapon on Fox. Yeah, glad to have you back for this baseball postseason. Little highlights if you missed it today. Game 5 at Dodger Stadium. Let's listen to Eric Karros and Steve Garvey.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Yeah, that's cool. Vince Scully getting everybody going just like he always has done on the mic. First inning, Cubs with the man on. Rizzo rips one, staying hot to the corner, and Dexter Fowler's going to make it 1-0 Chicago. So we move to the 6th. We're tied at 1. Addison Russell against Joe Blanton. Takes that out. Back-to-back nights with a home run for Russell and the Cubs in front. Kid is feeling good. After that slump to start the postseason, Blanton's allowed 3 homers in the series. And so we move to the 8th. Cubs have 5-1, bases loaded. Javi Baez against Ross Stripling. This guy can do no wrong. This is going to clear the bases. One hop off the wall. Come on around to score. Cubs win 8-4. They lead the series 3-2. Heading back to Wrigley Field this weekend, where we will be waiting for game number 6. And of course, John Lester doing his thing, amazing again. He's now got a .86 ERA in 3 starts this postseason. Utterly ridiculous. And standing by with our Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Kevin. John, 7 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run. What was the key to your success tonight?
I mean, I don't know, just better fastball command than last time. I felt like, there's not as many hard hit balls tonight, and we were able to, as the innings went on, to get that curveball in there a little bit more. And they're such an aggressive team, that they didn't really allow me to get to 2 strikes too much, and our defense was great again. A lot of balls hit at guys, and anytime that they're able to make plays, that always helps me out.
And Joe Madden told us before the game he wanted you to focus only on your pitching, not the running game. But how difficult was that to do when they were constantly showing bunt, taking big leads, stealing bases?
It is what it is. I've dealt with it all year. I've dealt with it for a little while. So, it is what it is. They have a game plan going in that they want to do bunt, and they want to show bunt. They want to get big leads and do all that stuff. So that's fine. I mean, I'd rather have Adrian Gonzalez and Jock Peterson and all these guys bunt than hit it out of the ballpark. So as much as they think it gets me off my game, like I said, I'd rather have those guys try to keep the ball in the infield. Our infielders are really good, and Javi makes a great play on Adrian there in the 7th, and we had another bunt out too. So like I said, it is what it is, and I haven't run from anything, and we'll just keep adjusting and keep trying to throw strikes.
With the way you've performed last 2 years, tonight, do you feel you've proven a point for teams that try to rattle you?
I don't know. Like I said, it is what it is. I mean, I think it's always going to be there. I think it's something that we're always going to have to combat. And like I said, our defense has done a really good job. Rossi's done a really good job, of coming up with different ways of combating this. So, like I said, it is what it is. We'll move on. Biggest thing is we won the game. So, it obviously wasn't too distracting.
You've pitched a huge number of big games, World Series games. Where does this one rank?
This one's big. Just with the new ball club too. I mean, I think that adds a little bit to it. The Game 5 is such a huge swing game, especially when you got you got Kershaw looming in the background in Game 6. So that's a big one for us to get back home with the lead and putting them on their heels a little bit. I know, like I said, they got Kersh, and I know how good he is, and I know how good he can be, and he shoved against us in Game 2. So hopefully we get the bad Kersh and not the good one, and we can capitalize on that and have a good outing from Kyle, which he's done all year.
John, congratulations. Thanks very much. Kevin, back to you.
Kenny, John, thanks. We're going to bring in Tom Verducci, and I know that's a check that Tom Ricketts, $155 million, feels pretty good about, fellas, but we'll get to that in a little bit with John Lester. Tom, I want to ask you about this dynamic middle infield for the Cubs. Not bad, huh? 5 hits, 5 RBIs today, and great defense. How did they do?
It's amazing. I joked last night that I was going to drag the infield. Well, Javi Baez dragged the infield, cater the postgame spread and drive the bus to the airport because he's done everything in this series. Remember, this was a 1-1 game when he came to the plate in the 6th inning against Joe Blanton. That's a matchup that Dave Roberts liked. Slider on Baez. Well, he jumped the slider, got the base hit, and then goes ahead and steals second base in advance of the home run of Addison Russell. And oh, by the way, how about the great play he made on the bunt by Adrian Gonzalez, actually moving before the bunt was down. That was a 2-run game at that point. Also added the big bases-clearing double. This guy has done everything. What really caught my attention, a pop-up earlier in the game to Anthony Rizzo, and you saw Javi Baez joking with the first baseman. I mean, this guy is playing the game like the NLCS is being played in his backyard, not at Dodger Stadium. But, guys, I think that's why he's been so successful. The pressure moments, I think he loves being in the spotlight.
Tom, I heard this is Pete again. I heard you're going to Chicago on Alex's charter. Is that correct?
Oh,
you one of the lucky guys?
I'm still waiting for my invite, Pete. Me and you are going commercial.
Don't let him get in there, Tom. Don't let him.
Hey, but I got to mention Addison Russell, too, right, guys? I mean, sometimes, and you guys know this, there's at-bats in the game we don't pay attention to, but the player knows that's a big play for me. For Addison, it was game 3. He had a line drive to right field in the middle of the game. Innocuous fly ball, right? But no, that was the swing that got him back to point. Been a little too pull happy throughout the first couple of games of this series, actually the whole postseason. And that one swing got him back to the middle of the field. And you saw the 2 home runs the last 2 nights using the middle of the field. That's where his power is. And boy, things changed in the last 48 hours.
Sure did. Tom, thanks so much. As always, we appreciate Tom Verducci out at Dodger Stadium. Welcome back to our studio. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And we were asking earlier about the decision to remove Kenta Maeda with the pitcher up in the 4th inning. Let's ask the manager, Dave Roberts, answering that question.
Hey, Dave. Is everything okay with Kenta physically? And if so, why take him out right there before John Lester comes to bat?
Well, I think that Kenta is fine physically. For me, I felt that at 3 2/3, he was around 75 pitches, and I felt that he was starting to lose that fastball command, and I thought the breaking ball wasn't as sharp. And, you know, Lester put a good swing on that ball in his first at-bat, and so I didn't see Kenta getting fouler. So I like the Fields matchup if for some reason we lost Lester. You know, at that point in time, I wanted to make the move to knowing that Kenta wasn't going to get fouler anyway. So I felt that Fields can go in there, throw strikes, and, you know, beat Lester with velocity.
I think Dave Roberts has had a magnificent postseason. I don't think there's any question about it. But if you don't think that your starting pitcher can get out John Lester, no disrespect, John. I mean, when did it become acceptable for your starter to not even go through the 4th inning?
Well, the guy he brought in hit the ball harder. Lester hit harder off of him.
He did, off the field, yes.
Yeah, he did. I mean, here's the difference in this game. All right, Joe Madden expects his guy to go 7, maybe 8. The Dodger guy expects his guy to go 3 or 4. How are you going to win a game when you're worried about your starter who threw 75 pitches? Mm-hmm. This is a 9-inning game, guys. You can't. What sense hurry to get to that bullpen?
You are a manager. One word: confidence. He has no confidence in Maeda right now. He's struggled his last 5 starts. He felt like
then start somebody else if you don't have no confidence.
Well, I mean, they're limited. They're limited with pitching right now. It's amazing that Dodgers have gotten this far with the in that bullpen. And starting pitchers hadn't been there all year long. It's an amazing season so far.
One thing is if you have the Cleveland Indians and Andrew Miller lined up in that bullpen. But for me, 3 2/3, at that point, it guaranteed they were going to lose the game. I did not like the move at all, and we talked about it. For me, if you're going to go 3 2/3, then start Joe Blanton and reverse it.
Exactly.
But one thing for the people at home, for the folks at home to understand, an average starter is always going to be better than an average reliever. Usually you have 3 pitches, a bullpen guy has 2 pitches. Always go with the starter.
But 75 pitches. Good point, buddy. That's a real
that is a good point. But you're anxious to get him out. And look, I don't think that he wasn't dominant, but he allowed 1 run. He was 3-0 on Ross, came back to get Ross out, right? But then when you leave Baez in there, so he walks to the ballpark and gives up 5 runs?
You know, Kevin, the other thing is that all these stats, they don't mean anything. At some point, you can't manage at 5 o'clock. You have to be able to watch with feel, gut, and eyes. Your eyes will tell you exactly what's going on. The other thing is he had 3 2/3. He had 6 strikeouts, which to me, that means he's missing bats.
The Dodger manager goes on velocity and how the guys are swinging, not what the pitcher is, he's getting them out or not. He just said it again tonight. Oh, I thought he lost some of his fastball, and I didn't want him to get Fowler up there. I got to bring someone else in. Well, he got Fowler out the first couple times he faced him. Let him go. Let him go.
You got to
Who cares if he goes 6 innings?
Pete, you have to let him get Lester out there.
At some point,
no question. Lester had 6 hits this year.
Don't you ever look at the scoreboard? It said 1 run. The scoreboard said 1 run. At some point.
Yeah. It's getting tight around here, Kevin.
A big point of the game. That's for sure. Cubs took advantage of that. Plenty more to do with this one as the Cubs take Game 5 and a 3-2 lead in this NLCS. And so now, if the Cubs are going to get back to the World Series for the first time since 1945, they got to go through Clayton Kershaw. Think that'll be high drama? Oh, yeah. Postgame show presented by Lethal Weapon on Fox. It's the Frank and Pete show.
I was 4 years old when they went to the World Series.
I tell you what, I've never been that skinny in my life.
It never will. It never will.
Hey, knock it off.
I'll watch that show with you guys on it.
Man.
There are some voices that can't be ignored.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
It's time to grow up.
Culture of winning matters.
Conflict draws people in. Everybody's a critic. Everybody gets an opinion. We're watching a revolution. Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
We're downtown to see if guys can tell the difference between a Joseph A. Banks suit and more expensive designer brands. Which one is the Armani suit? The polka dotted tie. Please reveal. Oh my goodness. Do they all say Joseph A. Bank? Very impressive. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
First, there's shaving, blades, sharp and precise. Then Gillette shielding, comfy lubrication before and after. And also cooling. Ooh, got goosebumps. Gillette Pro Shield Chill with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields and cools while you shave. Pro Shield Chill from Gillette, the best a man can get. Pro Shield, available with or without chill.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Get up to $5,000 customer cash on select 2016 models. See your Lexus dealer.
Wear what the best wear. MLBshop.com.
The Cowboys have no defense. They're nothing. They've been nothing for the last 4 years.
According to the Department of Justice, more than 2 million homes are broken into every year. And in 1 out of 3, a family member is home.
Not on my watch.
This is why we designed SimpliSafe, the highest caliber home protection. SimpliSafe's award-winning security keeps your family safe around the clock. And unlike other systems, SimpliSafe works without a landline, so a burglar can't cut your security by cutting a wire. Featured in this year's HGTV Smart Home, tech experts call it better, smarter home security. Now you can protect your family with 24/7 professional home monitoring for less than 50 cents a day, with no long-term contracts. And save up to 20% on your home insurance. Try SimpliSafe for 60 days. You'll feel confident your family is safe or your money back. Go to mysimplisafe.com.
Welcome to SimpliSafe. Alarm on.
Swung on, hit in the air, deep left center. Back goes Peterson. It's got a chance. Gone. 2-run home run. Addison Russell. Cubs lead 3-1.
That is Pat Hughes on the Cubs radio network. Boy, he's a good broadcaster. Cubs offense. Remember how it looked like just awful? Shut out back-to-back games? Well, certainly a lot different now. Last 2 games, they've just exploded. 9 runs a game, averaging 26 total hits, 3 home runs. And they've got some hits with runners on, too. So now, Joe Maddon's Cubs 1 win away from going to the World Series.
Joe,
How does it feel to be one win over Clayton Kershaw or somebody else away from the World Series?
Obviously, it feels good. You'd much rather go home under those circumstances than the other. And you want to get it done as quickly as possible. It's going to be a formidable event. Our guys will absolutely be ready for the moment. I promise you that. It's great. The city of Chicago's got to be buzzing pretty much right now. I expect to sell out at Wrigley. It'll be a lot of fun.
I like that. I expect to sell. Good guess, Joe. That's for sure. Hey, it is 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, 10 Pacific. We're glad you're along with us here at the postgame show on FS1
Why are we
Broadcast
up?
by Lethal Weapon.
Why are we up? We should be watching Johnny Carson. Oh, you don't like Johnny Carson?
He's been on TV 20 years.
I don't think Johnny.
Oh,
I don't think Johnny's show is still on.
That's the second thing that goes when you get 70, buddy. What's up, Kev?
Johnny Carson.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
You don't know what to say, do you?
Leave It to Beaver is also not on the television anymore. I don't know if you know that. It's not live anymore. It's
Wake up, Alex.
We can watch Arsenio Hall, too.
I mean, why not? Let's bring it back the Wayback Machine, Pete.
What'd you say about 1 o'clock now?
I was saying it is 1 o'clock in the morning. There was no other statement. Yeah. But you know what? You're up watching the show with us, and we're glad you are with us as the Cubs take Game 5 of this NLCS 3-2 lead. Back to Wrigley now. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So you're Joe Madden, Alex, and you are 1 win away, and you're going back home for Game 6. What do you think this feels like to them right now on this flight back to Chicago?
Well, it's pretty exciting, Kevin. I mean, 1 win away to go back to the World Series since 1945. Let me tell you something. It's going to be a really nice ride home. Probably get home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You wake up the next day, you're feeling good, maybe get a massage, go to Starbucks, little workout, and you can start to feel it.
They're in the driver's seat, bro.
That's right.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat.
This was a driver's seat game, like you said.
Yes, it was.
Well, you know what, Pete? Go ahead, Frank.
Well, just it's going home. Everybody's relaxed. You know, the stress won't be there going home. I'm looking for something special on Saturday night. I know Kershaw's pitching, but these guys we got to like their chances.
You know, this is just not a baseball story. This is, for me, the biggest story in all of sports.
I agree with that.
You know, and one good thing for the Dodgers. Can we just say one good thing? Sure. I mean, they have to feel pretty good on that charter going back that they scored another 2 runs up Chapman. Yeah. Now, that's 2 for 2 in 4 runs, and the lefties have done some damage. So it's not an invincible 9th inning.
I think the realistic thing for the Dodgers, Frank, and you brought it up when we were watching the game earlier, is, hey, you're down 3-2. That's always tough. If you get Kershaw for 7, you can push Kenley Jansen for 2, and you're right back in the series.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is very doable for
And if
them.
it's a tight game, you know you can score off of Chappie.
Yeah.
Because they did tonight.
Right.
It wasn't amazing.
Who?
Chapman.
Oh, wow.
We had him at
It's late. I mean, just
we had him before we give him
Chappie.
to you.
Okay.
You gave him to the Cubs.
We just call him Chapman in New York.
Oh, Chappie.
You guys are used
Chappie.
to giving away good relief pitchers.
Chapman, Miller.
What kind of advisor are you? Come on, Alex.
I don't think he's advising necessarily the trades, or maybe you are.
That's a good point. Yeah. No, you're right the first time. Thank you, Kevin.
Point.
I'm trying to get him off the hook.
Jump in here, Frank. Anytime you want to jump in, big boy.
Why closers have such a hard time pitching in blowout games? I don't get this. Shouldn't they be more relaxed to just execute their pitches?
I never did understand.
It's across the board.
It is across the board. That's a good point, Kevin. And a lot of them, it happens to a lot of them. Situations, 2 innings, they're very mechanical, very robotic. And tonight was another example. He just could not focus.
That's probably why a lot of them have high earned run averages. So they'll come in and have 1 or 2 bad outings and get 25 saves.
Right.
Do you think it's the motivation?
With 20 innings.
Because I didn't see him really throw a ball over 100 miles an hour tonight.
Frank, let me just try to put that into perspective for the folks at home who are still up. I've had numerous conversations from top to bottom, and what happens when you have a save situation, there's an adrenaline.
Yeah.
You know, you get another save, that goes into arbitration, you take that to free agency. For some reason, when the game's out of hand, you just feel like the adrenaline's not there. And tonight, you didn't see 103, you saw 97.
97 was getting hit.
Nah, you're talking about money, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
You know,
boy.
it's
Give me some skin.
It's kind of like when we're getting done with the pregame. We know that dinner's waiting there. We get very motivated to get done with the show.
You got that right.
Yeah, it's like a stampede with him.
Yeah, you better watch out. Bite your finger
I got
off.
run over 3 times in the last week.
Those snacks got to be first.
You got to be careful. Hey, fellas, right after the postgame show, our buddies Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole not afraid to take late-night sports coverage to a whole new level. Fox Sports Live with Jay and Dan, so let's see what's on their minds coming up after us tonight.
Thanks, guys. Coming up on tonight's Fox Sports Live, following the postgame show, we'll tell you why the Dodgers are cursed.
Reggie Jackson's going to be right here with us. He's going to recreate the baseball scene from Naked Gun, where the robot. Before we send it back to you guys, though, we wanted to play a quick round of From the Vault.
That's right, Dan. Last night, the MLB on Fox guys opened the vault on Pete Rose and discovered he was an Aqua Velva man.
We went even further into that vault, discovered a few more things about Pete. First, did you know Pete was an original member of Kiss?
He was the clown. Terrifying. It was the 70s, though. Crazy stuff happened. Pete also starred in the Lifetime movie Two Strikes, No Balls, alongside John Stamos and Tori Spelling.
Stamos won an Oscar for that. And finally, apparently Pete once had his own fragrance, Rose Petals, which you'd think smelled like roses, but actually smelled like Pete's glove. The slogan, smell the glove.
Remember to watch Fox Sports Live immediately following the postgame show right here on FS1. Now back to Kevin, Alex, Pete,
Frank, Dontrell,
and Steven Seagal.
What was wrong with those guys?
Something's wrong. They're great.
Unbelievable. So what do we have here? We have one other thing. Let's see. Oh, I can see it.
I look good there, man.
You do look good. You do look good.
It is Halloween time.
At a rodeo.
Happy Halloween, Pete.
Rodeo?
Rodeo clown.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, well, I want to get back to Lester. We were talking about this during the break, so we heard him talk to Ken Rosenthal. He was great. But it's the Dodgers played all these games trying to mess with, but even though they had 2 steals against, it just felt like they left a lot of potential steals out there, Petey.
When's the last time this guy threw the first base? Get on there and take off, because we need some 2-out base hits to score some runs.
Yeah.
I mean, early in the ball game when the score was 1-1, we had 2 or 3 guys on first base. Great situation to steal. Didn't try.
Strange.
He's real quick to the plate. I mean, most people talk about that. He knows that they're going to take big leagues, but he's quick getting balls to home plate. Right. And that's helped him in these situations all the time.
Well, didn't work. That's
But a lot of guys stole a lot of bases off him when they get on.
Didn't
the
work.
guy's not going to throw to first, Frank. You could steal bases.
Well, I'm just telling you, they had the opportunities. They took 1 or 2, that was it.
Their opportunities in 2 starts this series against Lester have yielded 2 runs. One of them a wind-blown home run. So he's doing something right against these Dodgers, that's for sure. And that's why the Cubs have a 3-2 series lead. When we come back, we'll go one-on-one with David Ross. He caught that gem tonight for Chicago. And so we will talk to Ross when we come back. Cubs going back to Chicago.
Don Cassinger, Glenn Becker, Billy Williams, Ernie Banks, Adolfo Felix,
Gibson Steakhouse.
Here we go.
Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Fame.
Thank you for making FS1 America's new #1 sports network.
Who could have predicted that plot twist?
Give me more of that.
#1 all day.
That's the hottest seat in sports media.
I love it. #1 in live events.
This place will be rocking all night long.
And the #1 cable network in all of television.
And here we go.
Hello. Please stay on the line to hear an exciting TV bundle offer. Hello. Please stay on the line to hear an exciting TV bundle offer. Hello.
PlayStation. They say a lot of things about rain. Like how hard it's gonna fall. The things it does to your parade. We've got a saying about rain, too. When it rains, it roars. The all-wheel drive Charger. Domestic, not domesticated.
Now get 20% off MSRP cash allowance for an average of $8,000 in savings on select 2016 Charger RT models in dealer stock.
Meet the new face of late-night sports talk, Katie Nolan.
It's my show. If you weren't paying attention, you're paying attention now.
Garbage Time with Katie Nolan, Wednesday at 11:30.
This is Lynchburg, Tennessee. This is how many people were born here. This is how many are named Hiawatha Kitty McGee. This guy keeps the town dry. These guys would prefer it a little wet. This many are proud of what we make here. This is how many will go around bragging about it. This is our town. For 150 years, the home of Jack Daniels. If you can't get here, just look for one of our postcards. They look like this.
Like to know how to fix a broken joint and make it as good as new without messy glue or exposed screws? Get the Craig Joinery System and create rock-solid wood joints as good or better than new. All you need is a drill and our Craig jig to perfectly position hidden pocket holes for ultra-strong joints without messy glue or exposed screws. A Craig jig will pay for itself fixing chairs, drawers, frames, and more. Craig offers a 90-day guarantee, so get your Craig jig at CraigJoining.com or at these and other fine retailers.
Domino's has a $7.99 Monday through Thursday carryout deal. But if you carried out Friday through Sunday, you might have felt bamboozled. So we're extending the deal to every day and giving people who paid more a little payback. Like the Smith family, who got free pizza for a year. They love pizza. We gave Brad a date with the Noid. You're welcome. And we gave Rajesh a nightlight. Payback. Go to pizzapayback.com for a chance to get yours and carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 now, every day.
I can have the same swing. That's going to left field. This is going to center field. This is pulling. Just the difference in where my hands are.
You know what? That's a great conversation if you love baseball. Three legends talking hitting. It's on Facebook/MLB on Fox. You could watch that clip with Alex, Pete, and Frank talking hitting. That is good stuff. We'll hear from those guys in a moment. Right now, let's go back to Dodger Stadium and join in with Ken Rosenthal. Lester's pretty good, Kenny, in the playoffs. I don't know if you've seen his numbers, but boy, oh boy, it seems like a broken record. It's the same result every time he pitches, man.
It does, Kevin, but this was a different kind of game with all that was going on, the showing of the bunts, the big leads, the occasional stolen base. It seemed like he had a lot more to deal with. Now, you talk to the Cubs players and they say, no, this is pretty normal, actually. But the Dodgers announced their intentions. They tried to act out their intentions. Still, Lester was resolute. And I spoke with his agent, Seth Levinson, after the game, and he's got a couple of other prominent clients. And one of them, Daniel Murphy, said, man, he's just going to will his way to a win, isn't he? This was during the game. And Danny Duffy, another one of their clients, said, this is the guy that I want to be. And certainly to see what he did with all that was going around him, to me, this was one of the most impressive performances of a long and illustrious career.
Yeah, it's well said, I think. For the Dodgers, look, Dave Roberts has used his bullpen a lot all year long. There's no doubt about that. 2 games in a row, they've used a lot, and they have given up a lot of runs. So what is the state of this Dodgers bullpen now for the rest of this series?
That's a good question. And certainly, Kevin, they're in a place now where they cannot be comfortable. Now, I know they have Kershaw going after the off day, and then Rich Hill if there is a Game 7, but 10 2/3 innings the last 2 nights, 19 hits, 16 runs. Not all of them earned, but that's a lot of runs regardless. And you wonder who Dave Roberts has confidence in other than Kenley Jansen.
All right, Kenny, thanks very much. Great job again tonight. We will see you Game 6 out in Wrigley Field. Ken Rosenthal from Dodger Stadium. Okay, so Game 6, obviously, the Cubs got to get by Clayton Kershaw, Frank. And it sets what great drama, right? A chance for the Cubs to go back to the World Series for the first time since '45 against the great Clayton Kershaw.
Hey, he's the best pitcher in baseball. If you're going to go to a World Series, you got to beat the best. They're facing the best on Saturday night, and I'm sure Clayton Kershaw will be ready for the challenge.
I think you have to say he's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
No, he's known as the best.
The guy we saw tonight was one of the best pitchers in baseball to go along with Clayton Kershaw. But they got their work cut out for us. I'm talking about the Dodgers. But I'd sure in heck rather be where the Cubs are than where the Dodgers are.
Oh, no doubt.
You know, we sound like a broken record. It's up to Clayton Kershaw.
Again.
I mean, it seems like we keep saying that. But to me, one thing to focus on is he's got 5 days of rest, so he's got plenty of rest. He should be nicely recovered. And the other thing is, if I'm Dave Roberts and... Did I say Dave Roberts?
Dave Roberts.
Yeah, Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. I'm looking for 7 innings or 120 pitches, whatever comes first, and then hand the ball to the big man in the bullpen.
All right, let's go back to Dodger Stadium. Let's welcome in Anthony Rizzo, who has the headset on, and he's ready from just outside the Cubs clubhouse. Anthony, you're talking to Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Congrats on the win tonight. And I'm just curious, you guys have to be feeling good, but what are you thinking about now as you get set to get on the plane and head back to Chicago with a chance to go to the World Series in Game 6?
It's amazing, and we're excited about it. We know it's a tough task at hand. It's Game 6 and 7, if there's a Game 7, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready. We'll be fired up. I know Wrigley Field, Wrigleyville, the whole city of Chicago will be fired up and be with us.
Hi, Anthony. Alex Rodriguez here. Congrats on another big night.
Thank you.
You know, I grew up watching Keith Hernandez. He was my favorite player. And one of the things I marveled about him and you is how aggressive you are on bunt plays, relays. I don't think I've seen a young player be as aggressive as you. But I want to go back to that broken bat single. Did that do for you what we thought it did? You look like a different guy the next day, and you've looked really, really good.
Of course. I mean, you guys know how it is. You get that one hit, one little bloop, any way you can get it, and you just, for some reason, you just exhale big time. And I know it was one of the most meaningless hits of the series. We were down, and Kenley was in there. But for me, I got the exhale, and last night come through tonight. And most importantly, we're getting the wins, and that's the best thing about it.
Anthony, Pete Rose, how's it feel to play toss with John Lester? When's the last time he's thrown you a ball at first base?
Hey, he's been doing well all year, holding runners and fielding his position. He doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, but that throw today was perfect, right? One hopper right to me.
Yeah, it was. That's true.
Yes, it was. Anthony, it's Frank Thomas. What's up, my man? Everything's good?
Oh, yeah, you know it. How are you?
Great. I call you the glue guy all the time. Don't you feel this team really relaxed once you got going, as usual?
I mean, once we just got a couple runs again, we all relaxed. So, obviously, as a competitor, you want to get going, but the most important thing is winning. And hitting or not hitting, you just got to be there for the guys, and the guys are there for you. So, we want to keep this thing rolling, that's for sure.
Hey, Ant, real quick before we let you go, I'm just curious, guys had Matt Caesar on during the game. I wonder if he's lending anything else to any of the other guys. You said he lent his underwear to Addison Russell. I mean, any other articles of Matt Caesar making their way around the clubhouse?
I'll tell you what, we might be sleeping with C's pretty soon. Coming up. Just a team party. Team party. He's such a gamer. He's obviously not on the roster, but he's with us every pitch.
I gave you one of my bats, but you sure in hell don't need my bat.
I don't know. You got a lot of hits in there.
Anthony, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Safe flight home. We'll see you Game 6.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Why didn't you call him Elmer?
Elmer?
Yeah, he's the glue guy.
He's the glue guy?
I call him the glue guy.
Elmer's glue.
When you watch that team, I'm telling you,
Kevin,
when Briscoe's together, they're great.
One thing we should not kind of skip over is how mental baseball is.
Yeah.
He alluded to that. We talked a little bit about it in the green room, but one measly little single, right? A bat shattered. We were all laughing. I know he slept better. And since that hit, Pete, 6 for 11, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 2 wins.
Yeah, it was cool. He admitted it. He said, yeah, that was it. So earlier, if you just turned us on the postgame show, we've done a lot already. I'm glad you're with us here on FS1. Pete was talking about catching when we're done the Johnny Carson show. I don't know if Pete knows that show is not on the air. So check this out, though, Pete.
Wow.
But isn't this a great show? A great picture?
This is why he was stuck on Johnny Carson.
I love this.
Because you were a guest.
I've been on all of them, Frank.
By the way, Johnny.
All of them, all the shows.
Johnny was the best. I know we're just
best.
messing around, but Johnny was
So
the best.
was Jay, so was David. They're all good.
How many times were you on with Carson?
Pretty many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a star, man. Pete Rose.
You've been on there, haven't you, Alex?
So what do you think? We haven't been on these shows either?
You've been on the late shows. You've been on
Were you
Letterman.
2-segment guest? 2 segments?
Yeah. I was on a half hour on Letterman.
Oh, wow.
Half hour.
Wow.
Wow.
Good for you, Pete.
Good for you. You're right.
Good for you.
Pete Rose.
Look where it's got me.
All right. So when we come back, more to do.
Ed McMahon! Jay Leno! David Jeff! Oh, my
John Stewart!
The Lexus RX, RX Hybrid, and RX F-Sport. This is the RX Elevated. Get up to $5,000 customer cash on select 2016 models. See your Lexus dealer.
What are these? What is it?
Duck lips.
Duck lips.
It's a plastic surgery duck. You are a backwards duck. Instead of quack, he says cow. No, cow.
Pringles.
When I was a little kid, I made a deal with myself that I would never grow up.
We met when we were very young. I was 17, he was 18.
We made the movie, The Book of Life. We started doing animation. With a Surface Book, you can actually draw on the screen.
So crisp. I love it.
It's almost like this super powerful computer, and a tablet had the perfect baby. It's a typewriter for writing scripts. It's a sketchbook for sketches. It's a canvas for painting. You can't do that on a Mac.
culture of winning matters.
We're watching a revolution.
Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way. They offer a claim-free discount because safe drivers cost less to insure, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
I won this 55-inch TV for less than $30 on DealDash.com.
I got this $1,200 computer for $100.71.
These aren't actors, they're real people who got real savings at DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. At DealDash.com, you can save up to 99%, but hurry, everything must go.
And shipping is always free.
Visit DealDash.com and start bidding today.
Down into the corner. Rizzo, 4 for his last 4. Can't make the play. Tie game. The shortstop, Russell. A big one. 2-run shot. Fielded by Gonzalez. Safe at first. It's 4-1. Hard hit deep into right. 3 runs are going to score. And the Cubs have blown it open.
And so that'll take us to Saturday night in Chicago. Game 6 of the NLCS with the Cubs trying to go to the World Series. It'll be Clayton Kershaw against Kyle Hendricks. Should be interesting. And so now Kershaw, it's on his shoulders again. He spoke to the media before game number 5 about that responsibility.
Obviously, the fans are pretty excited about their team this year, and rightfully so. And, you know, they've been waiting a long time for them to win. And, you know, pitching on the road's, you know, it's obviously different, but you try and, you know, you try and keep it the same as possible. DC was, you know, one of the louder environments that I've pitched into. So, you know, I've gotten to do that now a few times. So I guess I'm as prepared as I'll ever be for that.
Guess the questions were about the fans of Chicago, and those fans are great, but it doesn't matter to him at all. I mean, let's be real. So Kershaw, Frank, what do they need out of him on Game 6? What do the Dodgers need from him, other than to be superhuman? What do they need?
At least 7 strong innings, 1 or less runs. I mean, that's exactly what they need.
Oh, that's it?
That's just it.
Just 7 strong, 1
But that's Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
He's capable of doing that. I mean, that guy goes out, and he is rated the #1 pitcher in baseball, Pete. I know you don't want to give him that credit. John Lester's a great pitcher, but Clayton Kershaw starts for him.
I didn't say one of the greatest. Him, Lester, and Max are the 3 best pitchers I've seen this year. So don't forget about Max Scherzer. He's going to win this.
It's a lot of great pitchers. A lot of great pitchers in the league, but he's led by him.
You know, Pete,
they need to get some runs, though. I mean, that takes a little strain off it, you know, off him throwing pitches. I mean, we can't assume he's going to go out and throw 7 shutout innings. Hopefully he'll get 1 or 2 runs to work with.
Tell you this, he ain't coming out after 3 2/3.
Oh, no.
That's for sure. No. That's not going to happen Saturday.
All right. Nobody be in the bullpen.
That's for sure. All right, we'll go to break. We've got more to do, and including another edition of Inside the Vaults. And apparently, I'm told we have a good something inside the vault. I have no idea what that could be. Open that vault. It's a nice surprise. What's in the vault, Pete?
Alex counts money. Alex don't count money. He weighs it.
Oh, my God.
I'm here in Bristol, Virginia, and now I'm in Bristol, Tennessee. On this side of the road is Virginia, and on this side it's Tennessee. No matter which state in the country you live in, you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. Look, I'm in Virginia. I'm in Tennessee. Virginia, Tennessee. And now I'm in Virginia Sea.
See how much you could save on car insurance.
Or am I in Tennessee?
All right, we're going to take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
We're downtown to see if guys can tell the difference between a Joseph A. Banks suit and more expensive designer brands. Which one is the Armani suit? They polka dotted tie. Please reveal. Oh my goodness. Do they all say Joseph A. Bank? Very impressive. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
First, there's shaving, blades, sharp and precise. Then Gillette shielding, comfy lubrication before and after. And also, cooling. Ooh, got goosebumps. Gillette Pro Shield Chill with lubrication before and after the blades. Shields and cools while you shave. Pro Shield Chill from Gillette, the best a man can get. Pro Shield, available with or without chill.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
No matter which Passat you choose, you get more standard features for less than you expected.
Hurry in and lease the 2017 Passat S for just $199 a month.
You've known for 24 hours that an unregistered wizard set magical beasts loose in New York.
So, you're the guy with the case full of monsters, huh?
News travels fast. The magical community is exposed.
I refuse to bow down any longer.
Could mean war. Contain this.
How about another one die?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
Hello. Please stay on the line to hear an exciting TV bundle offer. Hello. Please stay on the line to hear an exciting TV bundle offer. PlayStation.
Hey, I'm Jay. That's Stan. We host Fox Sports Live. It's coming up after this post-game show. Everybody's talking about the Cubs curse, but did you know the Dodgers are cursed as well?
And Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, is here, and we are going to ask him to reenact his most famous scene from The Naked Gun. Join us, won't you?
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Welcome back. As we remind you, the Indians on a 5-day break for playing Game 1 of the World Series Tuesday night in Cleveland. We'll be there, ready to go. 7:30 Eastern coverage on Fox. We're back. Alex is done weighing his money temporarily, so we could go into our one of our favorite segments, From the Vault. And we're told, we don't know what it is, but this clip is supposed to be very good.
What do you got?
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas, former White Sox slugger. This Saturday at Blitz Pro Wrestling Show, Hostile Intent, make sure to bring your Big Hurt beer posters and have a great Memorial Day weekend. How about it? Big Hurt beer. Let's do it.
Wow. Wow. Big Hurt loves it.
That is deep in the vault. That was a wrestling promo I did, man.
Oh,
Frank,
man.
Were you drunk when you did that?
No. It was for, they were having a special wrestling event in Chicago. So they wanted me to do a Blitz promo for it. Things like that can come back to haunt you, man. I'm serious.
Yeah, it just did, by the way.
Yeah, he did all the commercials when they put me in the WWE Hall of Fame. I didn't know you trained.
Man. You know what? I have never seen that played back.
You have now.
You just.
I did it, and it was out there.
Hey, there's probably a reason, Frank, you haven't seen that before.
Hey, good news. Tomorrow's a travel day, and I know Pete has been infatuated with getting on Alex's G5
someday.
Well, Pete, no, good news. We actually have footage of you attempting to get on Alex's plane. There it is.
Oh, my God.
They're going to leave you right there to turn back, too, Pete.
What time we leave?
They're going to leave you around the turn back.
Man.
You have breakfast aboard? Wheels up, here we come, Chicago.
By the way, what's with that A-Rod logo? It doesn't look like you.
Pete, did you put that on there?
That was awesome.
We're out. We'll see you in Chicago.